When he did Ace to Dizzle, I remember calling my mother telling me like, yo, we finna be all good, don't worry.
I would say as a producer, him and Just Blaze during that Blueprint era really ushered back in the soulful sample, that whole technique.
I finally just decided to move to New York, and I had made more of these sped up soul beats. And I just had like a plethora of them. And Jay came in, I'll never forget, he had the Gucci bucket hat, he heard one joint. He heard another joint. I remember him pulling his hat over his head and just getting so excited.
When he was doing the sped up soul samples, yeah, RZA had done it before, but it kind of gone by the wayside. So then here comes Kanye giving Jay-Z these ill beats with the sped up soul samples. Everybody's like, oh snap, wait, that was kind of dope. And Kanye kind of took it to the extra level where you just had like everybody rocking to it. It wasn't like this little clique of people that were like, yo, this is the ish. It's like everybody.
He picked those beats for the Blueprint, and when he did Ace to Dizzle, I remember calling my mother telling me like, yo, we finna be all good, don't worry.
I think personally he made it fun again, and how he created, how he flipped, how he used things. And it made it better because he was rapping on his own stuff.
At that point, I was considered one of the Rockefeller producers. And all the time, I always wanted to rap, but I just really wasn't that good. I just recently got extremely good, if I do say so myself.
That was one of the things that really got us to pay attention because now he's a double threat. Now he's providing the music and the content.
The first line on Dark Twisted Fantasy is, "Can we get much higher?" And he seems to think of that line every time he goes into the studio. He brings the people in there and they just try to go higher every time.
Hawaii was my first experience with the whole good music family, period. First of all, I mean, it's intimidating. Like, you walk in Hawaii and all you see is like signs that say no Instagramming, no tweeting, no talking. You can't hear nothing. We can't talk about anything but the album at hand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The bar is set, like without anybody speaking a word. That's
so
the first
tight.
thing you see. Like, just period. Now we get into talking, and now we get into like, yay, cutting down your verses and no, that's not good, and you know, so on and so forth.
You know, he wants the perfect project, and then when I listen to him, and you know, he doing certain things by taking like a ting, might be in the chat, ting, ting. I'm like, yo, no one hears that, bro. He's like, no, that sound, I can't stand it. Like, can't add this, but when you hear the finish, the finish part, you be like, okay, I knew why you take the ting out.
Right.
Kanye has nitpicked so many of my verses in the past, and all of our verses and songs and stuff. So it's like, man, my goal is to try and write a verse that he's not gonna say nothing about.
As a producer, Kanye West has made an impact on hip hop because whenever he drops a new song that has like a new sound that becomes a big hit and everybody loves it, immediately producers want to follow and bite it.
He's influenced so many producers to this day. You hear 40, you hear Mike Zombie, you hear just so many people that have taken little compartments of what he's done. And he's drawing inspiration from, you know, Jay Dilla. That's one of the key components to Kanye being who he is right now. So he's had some good teachers. And then now he's bringing up a whole new generation of producers. You can listen to some of these producers out now and know like, oh, I know he made that, or I know he made this. Kanye, I could never tell. We listen to Yeezus, and then we listen to 808s, then we listen to Graduation, and then you listen to Late Registration, and you listen to College Dropout, and then you listen to The Life of Pablo. Every piece of those projects sounds nothing alike. And that's the beautiful part, and that gives a lot of producers now hope that you can go from grungy, dirty, garage sounding hip hop to soulful, barbecue style flowing hip hop. And no one's gonna say anything because you're pushing an envelope that hasn't been opened yet.
In this video game of rap, I'm trying to take it to the next level.
Kanye's changed the game as a live performer because he's made it very clear that if you're on that stage, you have to be on that stage as if it's your last concert that you're ever going to perform.
As far as live performances, Kanye West made everybody step their game up, if they're able to.
From the Grammys to Coachella to Watch the Throne to South by to VMAs, BET Awards. I've never seen a lackluster performance from Kanye. Even if he throws the mic down, he's upset about something. It's still a great show.
A lot of rappers have a hype man or a DJ up there. Kanye brings out Jesus.
instead of just standing on stage, going back and forth, we're switching stage sets. We're talking to people in the crowd.
He's gotten to the level now where he's a musician, but he's also a visual artist. So now his concerts are like full-on productions.
I would describe it as sit in the front row of an IMAX theater where you have to look up and everything is just in your face. It's theatrical, it's timely, it's unforgettable.
Yeah, he's just always trying to push the envelope. I gotta respect that.
I would love to see an artist evolve into that, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
So he's developed this thing where he plays Runaway every night, and people know that Runaway, which is like a 9-minute song, is gonna go 15 or maybe even 20 minutes because he's gonna freestyle in it. He's just gonna sing, and he's gonna do what always gets called a rant. He's gonna talk a lot. I saw one website publish a 38,000 word piece just collecting the things he said on the Yeezy tour. And that's like the length of a short novel almost.
I saw the Glow in the Dark tour at Madison Square Garden. Fucking amazing.
First major coming out party tour, Glow in the Dark tour. He brings Rihanna, N.E.R.D., Kid Cudi, like, come on. That's day one. And then he brings a mountain on tour on the Yeezus tour later. He brings that thing around the world. The Watch the Throne tour. Him and Jay-Z encompassing their entire discographies and their history together in one night.
Those shows just show the evolution of what hip hop has come from.
If you're on that level, your show has to be there. It's almost like impossible to meet his challenge now. It's like he's competing against himself.
You're gonna get passion, you're gonna get hit records, you're gonna get candid comments, and you're gonna get something that you've never experienced and you never will experience after that.
Kanye's live experience is just conceptual all the way. He has a concept, he has a narrative, and he just pulls it off.
It's almost like you gotta wait and see what he's gonna do next. How can he top himself?
In this video game of rap, I'm trying to take it to the next level. If this is Mario, I'm trying to get all the coins. Like, I'm not just trying to run through the board, I'm trying to get high scores on this. I live and die by clothing. If I got a whack outfit on, I feel dead inside. I'm serious, it could like f up my whole day.
When I was working with Kanye, at that time, he was still the producer. He wasn't known as the rapper yet. So I guess I was more of a lifestyle fashion liaison to him because I was helping him with his casual looks, his day-to-day looks, and I recognized early the monster that he was about to become.
As a producer, I was working with this guy named Gravity. And I wasn't one of the more popular producers in Chicago. I was just like 17 years old. And I ended up doing 8 beats on the album. And he paid me a whopping $1,100 a beat. So I had $8,800. And I remember I spent most of my money like on a Jesus piece. And I got some polo sweaters to go with it. So I think I would suggest to anybody that's up and coming, you know, if you get your like first check or whatever, definitely spend it on jewelry. Yeah, especially if you like sex as much as I did.
When he came on, he was rocking a lot of polo. You know, for polo heads, lowlifes, like they know about that, but for the people that were unaware, it was like, wow, like this is kind of ill. That's why it's kind of dope. So it's kind of like, all right, Kanye, you get it.
Kanye started making a name for himself as a fashion icon. Early baby stage was around the Stronger video when he came out with the blinds, the sleeveless denim shirt. I think people started to see that this guy could be a force to be reckoned with. He was letting people know that, yes, okay, I am a rapper. You already know I'm a certified producer, but now let me let y'all know that what I am about to bring to this fashion world.
He started out really loud with it, with the shutter shades and the pink polo and everything bright. And then he kind of mellowed out, but it never became less important to him. It's never been really shocking because the way, the casual and the confidence that he puts into it, you don't even get a chance to be shocked. So at the Watch the Throne tour, Jay-Z at Madison Square Garden, he comes out in this leather kilt and you don't even have a chance to be surprised. You're just like, oh, there's Kanye.
First shocking Kanye moment is definitely the kilt. it's not even a hip hop thing, it's just a man thing.
I wouldn't rock a kill. It was a skirt. But hey, you tried it. I'll give him props for trying it, but I wouldn't do it.
Hip hop, they wasn't ready for that. The culture wasn't ready for that. They didn't get it. It was so far left that it was off the hemisphere.
It's weird for us to see on a stage when you're singing your favorite song next to someone else who's one of the greatest rappers of all time.
But what made it fly is that he embraced it, and he knew his confidence with it, and he's still on stage stomping with the Timbs on with it, and this leather kilt is just moving.
So it's very shocking to see that. But again, that's Kanye who's pushing an envelope that hasn't been opened yet.
More than being an artist, I'm a designer. And it's just like how Gucci can make anything from bags to shoes to suits to pillows. It's like the Kanye West design. And it's always to stunt and to really look good. Everything I do is just to stunt and be entertaining to people, kind of like Vegas meets the hood or something.
He was almost courageous in the fact that he wanted to break down barriers. He wanted to be that guy that, you know what, you're gonna take me seriously. You might not want to, but you have to.
I feel like Ye brought the fashion back, and wanting you to wear these different name brands and be associated with these different name brands to bring back to our lifestyle.
Is that really a Gucci like velour track jacket? You're right about that, it is. I'm glad you noticed that. It's a Bulgari. Yes, that is the correct pronunciation, that Bulgari. Only 1,000 of these made. Oh, Astor cut, actually. Vivid yellows, yes. Vintage, I'm sorry. I was just making an adjustment.
You had Big talking about Versace and Moschino, and I feel like that whole lifestyle that Ye is bringing back to our culture and being, as flamboyant as we can be.
I live and die by clothing because if I got a whack outfit on, I feel dead inside. I'm serious, it could like f up my whole day. Sometimes I take an hour to get dressed, and it'll be the simplest outfit. I really do this. I have a bedroom, like it's a blow-up mattress in the back of Gucci for like when I get tired. If I'm just there too long, I'll just go to the back and just take a nap, and then come out and just do a little bit more shopping. How I found my niche was, I talked about issues that people were afraid to talk about and everything.
Kanye West has kind of mastered the art of flipping it, like flipping something to his advantage. Whether it was the car accidents, like I had my jaws wired shut.
The car accident was great content. It set the tone for that album. Like, okay, I'm sincerely the underdog. Like, my life was damn near taken from me, so there's no way you're gonna deny me any kind of success with this album.
When the whole accident thing happened, man, I thought it was gonna be a setback for him, but it actually helped him. You know what I'm saying? It really brought attention to his situation. And then when he actually came out with a song with his mouth wired shut, people was like, man, this kid's really hungry. He has his mouth wired shut and he's still out rapping.
I think this is a song that God really wanted me to have because it made me important to people, because bad news travels fast. So while that bad news is traveling, I put a little song in the way of that. Like, yo, do you know that dude that almost died? He's got a song out and I like it. And almost dying is one of the best things that can happen to a rapper. Me, Pac, 50. I just like saying that like together. In the same breath. It just rings, it's like a ringtone. It has a nice ring to it.
One of my favorite moments, and I think everybody's favorite moment, is one of the most important moments too, when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people on a telethon, standing next to Mike Myers, who had no idea it was coming.
For all the stuff that Kanye does that you don't like, when he does something like that, it's like, yo, you want to ride for him. It's like, yes, man, like you're telling him what we believe, so thank you for that.
And that seemed like always the thing with Kanye when something strong comes out, is he feels like he has to say it, and he won't let himself not say it.
How I found my niche was, I talked about issues that people were afraid to talk about and everything. I always try to put you on to something or philosophize on it. Like, I don't know what's better, getting laid or getting paid. I just know when I'm getting one, the other's getting away. That's when you sit back and think about it. Oh shit, like that is true.
What I love about Kanye West is I think society needs people who just speaks their minds anyway. We need people who are have the guts to say whatever they feel, you know?
Nobody really knows how self-aware Kanye is, but Kanye is so aware, period, of everything around him.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing. It's almost like he's plotting, like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna talk about. Let's see how many people think I'm crazy now. Now how crazy do you think I am when I actually make it happen?
He had the line on Pablo, everybody's gonna say something, I'd be worried if they said nothing. And then much earlier in his career, you know, at day one, he had people talk so much shit about me in barbershops, they forget to get their hair cut. So he knows that it's a big part of the game to just be talked about, you know, no press is bad press. And people make a fuss now about every Kanye tweet becoming 10,000 blog posts. It was like that since day one when he was tweeting, I have a water bottle on this plane now and now I'm responsible for it.
Whatever his agenda is at that point, it's gonna come across in some kind of way. And then the next morning, we're gonna see Kanye says. Google that, just Google Kanye says, and you'll see everything. Every fucking comment he has to say about anything, any corporation, Nike, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Kanye says, da-da-da.
He has been excellent at directing the media the way he wants it to go.
You know, his relationship with the press might not be going the way he wants it. Okay, I'm only gonna give you these little bits and pieces, but what you do get, you're gonna have to talk about it. Even if you don't like me, you're gonna have to talk about what I'm doing. And it's gonna be on my terms. Yeezy's masterful at that. It's gotten to the point where you can't just dismiss him and say, all right, he's off on one of his tangents. You gotta look and see like, all right, well, what's the long game? What's he really getting there?
When we look at Twitter and look at his rants and his announcements and whatever you want to call them, it kind of worries and scares me because I don't know if it's a joke or it's him unraveling.
Kanye, I read this. I read you said this. And I always take things out of context. This is the reason why I can't do any more print interviews. I can have a day where I'm just being completely under the weather, non-boisterous, non-stuntastic, whatever, but they'll still try to make it seem like I'm arrogant in some way. And that's how f***ed up interviews are. Like, you know, like right now, like if you said the wrong thing to me, like the interview would be over, I would just stop and I like wouldn't care. And like the label would call and it's like, yo, sorry, he left.
Kanye used to always speak his mind, man. He was really one of those outspoken people who really, like, he wouldn't hold nothing back. If it was going on up here, then you know about it.
There definitely is nobody that's off limits to Kanye. Like in the press, when you go on these spills, when he's comparing himself to Steve Jobs or to Walt Disney, at first it's the most instinct to be like, yo, this dude is crazy. What are you talking about? Then when you sit back and look at his accomplishments, it's like, damn, dude does have 21 Grammys. Damn. He says one tweet, everybody is retweeting it and writing news stories about it. So the influence is there. It's almost like you have to give it up. You know, no matter how much you hate the guy, you have to give him his props.
At the end of the day, after all the stunning, after all the back and forth, the conflicts, that's how I want to be remembered. I want to make something that will last forever. Forever, ever, 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 ever.
At the end of the day, he's a rapper, right? So what do rappers do? Rappers, they pop that shit. Kanye always had a knack for being on top of the shoe game. As far as his taste in different shoes, he always had that exclusive Air Max. He did a lot of Air Max 1s, a lot of Air Max 2s. Going into his collab with Bape was just a dent into his collaboration of wanting to design shoes.
Early on, he called himself Con Louis Vuitton Don, and he's still sticking with it because I'm Pablo, he says, and Louis Vuitton still got all my pay stubs. A lot of rappers, you know, the dream was maybe to get a Reebok shoe or a Nike shoe, and even that was hard. And Kanye was just like, nah, I'm going for Louis Vuitton. Like, I'm the Louis Vuitton Don, I'm part of this thing. You know, he started out at the very, very top echelon of fashion, and then he could do whatever he wanted from there.
Construction Timbs were always a fashion statement. It was always a lifestyle for us. But after a while, it kind of went away. Ye resurfaced these Construction Timbs. I feel like it was around the time where he started doing these leather pants and the leather short sleeve shirts. You know, I just thought that was a huge statement to where people started mixing the flavor of the high and the low of fashion. And of course, you know, I feel like he broke the barrier with his collaboration with Nike. was for Yeezys, the black, the Band-Aids, the gray, and the Red Octobers as well.
Those sneakers just said Kanye's albums. Because Kanye's albums are just one here, like it's just all over the place. But it's cohesive and it makes sense. You look at the shoes and it's like, yeah, who else would it be? Jay's not gonna make a sneaker like that. T.I.'s not gonna make a sneaker like that. Wayne's not. It takes someone with the mental capacity of Kanye, negative and positive, to make a shoe that just speaks, this is my sneaker and I'll be the only one to wear it and be fine with it.
From there, you pretty much had an idea of what this guy was about to do to the culture, to create that anxiousness, that anxiety of people wanting to go out and get these kicks and stand on line, and the lines being around the corner, people sleeping outside.
It's like they're so crafty with it because like it's a limited supply of it, but people want it so bad. Like the sneaker's like $250. Even before it dropped, it's already on the resale market for like a G or more.
You look now, these sneakers are like mortgage money. It's like $2,500, $5,000, $15,000 a pair. People are auctioning off. And now you can only imagine what these people are doing with his new Adidas collection.
I'm not gonna take it as far as saying that the Yeezys jumped over the Jumpman, but the impact and the hype surrounding this Yeezy Boost sneaker is crazy.
Well, when I heard Ye say the Yeezy jumped over the Jumpman, you can't take that personal. At the end of the day, he's a rapper, right? So what do rappers do? Rappers, they pop that shit. What he's trying to say is that all that you were saying that you thought I couldn't do, look what I'm doing now.
He's in the conversation when you're talking about sneakers and the shoes that kids are going out every week in the cop. Like, he's right there.
Not only did I bring back everybody to wearing retro Jordans again, but now I have my own sneaker now. And right now, my hypeness that I've created for this culture has me feeling like, yeah, I jumped over Jumpman, like I surpassed him. But if you're a fan of hip hop, you cannot take that personal.
He's just been very, very particular about how I'm viewed and how I'm seen.
Kanye is so good at bringing up artists who are so talented that they probably would have come up anyway, but he just saw it early and he helped give them a platform and he helped make his own records dope. Big Sean, Kid Cudi, Travis Scott. He gave J. Cole a big look on a Good Friday song.
I think one particular artist that Kanye West kind of pushed the button on has to be John Legend. He's a little bit known on the underground scene in New York as this really talented musician, played instruments. But then when he got with Kanye, it was kind of like the battery in the back of his career. He was just out of here, and now he's just a world-renowned singer.
Kanye is very selective on who he stands next to, who he co-signs, and when he does do it, it's an event. It's not just a single, it's not just a video, it's an album, it's a tour, it's a documentary, it's a staple in the progression of hip-hop.
He's also repackaged artists like Pusha T, Common, Mos Def, Talib Kweli. Look at Pusha T's life after Runaway.
Pusha T was down with Clips, ill MC. Anybody that's a hip-hop head knows who Pusha T is, knows his bars are crazy. But then Kanye West, gives him that cosign. It's like, now Pusha T has deals with Adidas, or he's the president of Good Music.
First and foremost, he gave me that platform. The platform with Runaway was big. He's just been very, very particular about how I'm viewed and how I'm seen.
Common. Like, we all know Common was nice. He links up with Common on B, that's a 5-mic, 5-star classic.
Kanye was the first producer I worked with that would sit there and be like, man, change that verse, or nah, leave that take the way it is, and I'd be like, no, I'm changing it. But I started listening, kind of like, I got my ego out of the way and just was like, man, I was learning from it. And I think it's hard for the eye to see itself, for you to be like, yeah, you thinking everything you're doing is pretty dope.
Right.
Look at the next generation of MCs right now. The DNA of Kanye West is there, whether it's somebody that's already on the A-list themselves, like say Drake. When you look at the way Drake came up, like the Kanye influence is just undeniable.
There's a reason that Drake has said multiple times that he wouldn't exist without Kanye. He really embraced his own complexity and contradictions and hypocrisy within himself, Album 1, he's saying, I always said if I ever rapped, it'd be something significant. Now I'm rapping about money, hoes, and rims again. It's like he's right there from the jump telling you, I am many things and I'm conflicted. And he'll rap a Jesus Walks, and then he'll just be like a grimy dude too.
Listen to 808s and Heartbreaks, and listen to some of Drake's earlier mixtapes when he's incorporating the singing, where, you know, he's just like putting all these emotions on a record when that was kind of frowned upon before. You didn't really do it too often, and he made it like easier. So it's like he paved the lane unwittingly for other artists like a Drake to, you know, step on it and take it to the next level wherever they want to take it. If you get that Kanye West cosign and you're actually talented, like, you're gonna be out of here just because he puts that much many more people aware of who you are.
He's just a master of getting you into really talented people.